The rise of the goddess. Athena stands as a paradox among the gods of ancient Greece. She is the embodiment of wisdom, yet also a master of warfare. She commands cities, not with iron fists, but with intellect, reason, and discipline. Her figure is both revered and feared, not for wrath, but for strategy. In a pantheon ruled by power and passion, Athena represents logic in its purest, divine form. Unlike other deities who are born of unions or chaos, Athena's origin is unique. She emerged fully grown, armed, and armored from the forehead of Zeus, king of the gods. This birth was not an accident. It was a symbol of intelligence and clarity, born from divine thought rather than emotion. Her arrival marked a turning point in myth, where raw strength began to share its throne with calculated strategy. Athena is often contrasted with Ares, the god of war. Where Ares is reckless and driven by bloodlust, Athena is precise and thoughtful. She does not glorify battle for its own sake. She honors war only when it is just, necessary, and guided by reason. Victory, to her, is earned, not by brute force but through preparation, courage, and intellect. She became the patron deity of the city of Athens after a legendary contest with Poseidon. While Poseidon offered a saltwater spring, Athena gave an olive tree symbol of peace, prosperity, and sustenance. The people chose her gift, and with that choice, they chose civilization over chaos. Her wisdom extends beyond warfare. She is the guardian of artisans, philosophers, and heroes. She guided Perseus in slaying Medusa. She stood beside Odysseus during his long journey home. She inspired Hercules in moments of despair. In every story, Athena appears not as a ruler of fate, but as a teacher of those who listen. This documentary explores the depth of Athena's mythology, her miraculous birth, her role as protector of heroes, her influence on Greek society, and her lasting legacy. Through her story, we discover a timeless truth, that the sharpest weapon is the mind, and the strongest shield is wisdom. In the chapters ahead, we will walk beside this divine strategist, uncovering why she remains one of the most powerful and respected figures in all of ancient mythology. Born from the mind of Zeus. The birth of Athena is among the most mysterious and symbolic events in Greek mythology. Unlike any other god or mortal, she did not enter the world through natural means. Instead, she was born directly from the head of Zeus, the supreme ruler of Olympus. This event was not only divine but deeply symbolic. It represented the power of intellect over impulse, reason over emotion, and the emergence of wisdom as a force equal to strength. The story begins when Zeus, fearing a prophecy that his offspring would overthrow him, swallowed his first wife. Metis was the goddess of deep thought and cunning counsel. She was already pregnant, and rather than destroying the child, Zeus unknowingly absorbed her essence into himself. Days turned into weeks, and Zeus began to suffer from an unbearable headache. The pain grew so intense that he begged Hephaestus, the god of blacksmithing, to split open his skull. With a mighty blow, Hephaestus struck Zeus's head with an axe, and from the split emerged Athena fully grown, clad in armor, and wielding a spear. She did not cry like a newborn, nor stumble like a child. Instead, she let out a battle cry so fierce it echoed across Olympus. The gods were stunned, not just by her sudden arrival, but by her strength, composure, and radiance. Athena's birth is not just a myth, it is a metaphor. She was born not of the body, but of the mind. Her existence is proof of the Greeks' reverence for knowledge and intellect. While many deities were shaped by love, lust, or revenge, Athena was shaped by thought. Her armor was not forged in war, but in contemplation. She inherited the wisdom of Metis and the authority of Zeus. This made her a unique figure respected by gods and mortals alike. Zeus trusted her with his thunderbolt. She held a seat on his council. Unlike other deities who were driven by jealousy or personal desires, Athena was known for fairness and balance. She was neither cold nor cruel, but her judgment was final and often flawless. Her extraordinary birth laid the foundation for her role as goddess of wisdom and war strategy. In the chapters ahead, we will see how this birth shaped her every choice, every alliance, and every legacy she left behind. Guardian of heroes. Athena was not only a goddess of war and intellect, but also a guiding force behind many of Greece's greatest heroes. Her role was never to dominate the battlefield with brute strength, but to illuminate paths that others could not see. She stood not in front of heroes, but beside them, whispering strategy, offering tools, and lending courage in their darkest hours. Among her earliest and most famous interventions was with Perseus, the slayer of Medusa. Athena knew that Medusa's gaze could turn any man to stone. She did not hand Perseus a sword and wish him luck. Instead, she offered him a polished bronze shield, a mirror to view the monster without meeting her eyes. With this clever solution, Perseus approached with precision, not recklessness, and triumphed. Odysseus, the clever king of Ithaca, may have never returned home without Athena. During his 10-year voyage after the Trojan War, she appeared in many forms disguised as strangers, giving warnings or inspiring him in moments of despair. She helped him navigate the wrath of Poseidon, trick the suitors who overran his palace, and reunite with his wife and son. Odysseus's cunning was legendary, but it was Athena's guidance that made his survival possible. In the tales of Jason and the Argonauts, she contributed to the building of the Argo, the ship that would carry Jason on his quest for the Golden Fleece. She ensured its design was strong and swift. In the 12 labors of Heracles, Athena occasionally appeared to lend advice or aid when raw strength alone would fail. Even in the Iliad, she often stood as the voice of reason in a sea of rage and vengeance. What sets Athena apart is that she does not fight for glory. She supports those who serve justice, protect the weak, or seek wisdom. She offers tools, not weapons, insight, not intimidation. Her presence is felt in moments of clarity, in the calm between chaos. Athena did not choose just any hero. She chose those who listened, who valued discipline and learning. In return, her presence elevated them beyond mere warriors. They became legends, shaped not only by muscle but by mind. In the next chapter, we explore how Athena's influence reached beyond myth and into the heart of Greek civilization itself. Patron of the city of Athens. Among all the gods and goddesses of Olympus, Athena held a bond with one city unlike any other. That city was Athens, named in her honor, protected by her wisdom, and shaped by her ideals. The story of how she became its patron is one of the most symbolic and defining tales in Greek mythology, blending divine competition with civic identity. According to myth, both Athena and Poseidon desired to become the guardian of a rising city in the region of Attica. To settle the dispute, Zeus declared that the city's people would decide based on which god could offer the most valuable gift. Poseidon, god of the sea, struck the ground with his trident, producing a salt-watered spring, or, in some versions, a warhorse. It was powerful, but wild and impractical for daily life. Then came Athena. She planted a single seed in the earth, and from it grew an olive tree. It was not loud or dramatic, but it promised nourishment, oil for lamps, wood for tools, and trade for prosperity. The people of the city, recognizing the deeper value, chose Athena's gift. From that day forward, the city was called Athens, and she became its eternal protector. This was more than myth. It was a reflection of Greek values. While Poseidon represented conquest and unpredictability, Athena symbolized peace, agriculture, and civic advancement. The olive tree became a sacred emblem, not only of the goddess but of life, itself sustainable, rooted, and wise. The Parthenon, her great temple on the Acropolis, still stands as a monument to her presence. Inside once stood a colossal statue of Athena Parthenis, crafted by Phidias, adorned in gold and ivory, holding Nike, the goddess of victory, in her hand. The city's culture, philosophy, and politics flourished under her imagined guidance. Athens became a cradle of democracy, philosophy, and art. Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle walked the same hills believed to be under her protection. Her spirit was felt in the law courts, in schools, in theaters. To be an Athenian was to walk in the shadow of Athenian, not in fear, but with a sense of purpose and pride. In the next chapter, we will explore Athena's dual role as both warrior and peacemaker, and how she balanced strength with restraint in the battlefield of gods and men, war and wisdom in balance. Athena's reputation as a goddess of war often invites comparison to Ares, the other Olympian associated with battle. But while Ares represented fury, bloodshed, and chaos, Athena embodied the strategic mind. She was the master of disciplined, warfare, measured, tactical, and always with a purpose. She did not revel in violence. She calculated it, controlled it, and used it only when necessary. In Greek mythology, Athena's interventions in battle are rare but impactful. She is often depicted wearing a helmet, holding a shield, and wielding a spear. Her armor does not represent aggression, it symbolizes readiness. The most iconic part of her battle gear is the aegis, a protective cloak or shield given by Zeus, often bearing the head of Medusa. This symbol inspired fear in her enemies, not through brutality, but through divine intimidation. During the Trojan War, Athena played a crucial role. She sided with the Greeks, not out of favoritism, but due to a sense of justice and loyalty. She often advised heroes like Diomedes and Odysseus, giving them the clarity and strategy needed to outmaneuver their enemies. In one moment, she even guides a spear thrown by Dia, allowing it to strike Ares himself, showing her superiority in the realm of war. But Athena also knew when not to fight. She valued peace where possible, and only resorted to violence when reason failed. She taught restraint, honor, and the importance of defending the just cause. Her decisions were rarely clouded by personal emotions. Even when angered, she weighed consequences before taking action. Her dual nature made her unique. She could stand on the battlefield as a fierce warrior and then return to the city as a wise counselor. She was not torn between these roles, she balanced them. In every conflict, she showed that intelligence was the highest form of strength, and that true power lies in knowing when to strike and when to stand still. This harmony of force and foresight is what made Athena more than a deity of war. She was a model of leadership, a reminder that courage is not recklessness, and wisdom is not weakness. In the final chapter, we will uncover the lasting legacy of Athena, from ancient worship to her influence on modern culture and thought. The eternal legacy of Athena. Athena's presence did not fade with the fall of ancient Greece. Her legacy endured, etched into marble, embedded in philosophy, and echoed in every civilization that values wisdom, justice, and strategy. She was not merely a goddess of the past. She became a symbol, a concept that transcended mythology and lived on through art, politics, and education. In ancient times, her worship was central to Athenian life. Festivals like the Panathenea were held in her honor, featuring parades, music, athletic competitions, and sacrifices. Citizens offered woven robes, crafted weapons, and olive oil to thank her for the city's well-being. Her name was invoked in council chambers and battlefields alike. Even coins bore her image, helmeted, confident, unshaken. Philosophers saw Athena not only as a divine being, but as an embodiment of ideals. Socrates and Plato often discussed wisdom as the greatest human pursuit, a virtue Athena perfectly represented. The very foundation of Western rational thought was built upon the values she symbolized: inquiry, ethics, balance, and logic. In Roman culture, she was renamed Minerva and retained much of her Greek identity. Renaissance thinkers revived her image as the muse of learning and the guardian of reason. Her figure appeared in paintings by Botticelli and sculptures by Michelangelo. In modern times, her likeness has been used in emblems of government, law, and academia. Universities and military institutions continue to draw inspiration from her fusion of intellect and discipline. Athena's legacy also lives in literature and storytelling. From Homer's epics to modern fantasy, the wise warrior woman is a recurring archetype. She paved the way for characters who do not rely on brute strength alone, but lead with vision, clarity, and purpose. Her influence shapes not only gods and kings, but also the ideals of leadership, strategy, and moral courage. Perhaps what makes Athena timeless is her duality. She proves that strength and compassion, reason and power, can exist in harmony. She teaches that true greatness is not in domination, but in guidance, in lifting others through knowledge and justice. Athena was born from the mind of a god, but she belongs to every mind that seeks truth. Her voice may come from myth, but her wisdom speaks to the real world. And that is why, across centuries and continents, her name still commands reverence.